not embarrassing. It's just an admission of self-realization.
We were on the we would be in the makeup bus, and you go in at like 4:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning, and it's really painful to wake up that early and have to stand up and have glue put on you and stuff. But Elijah would come in like he had, like he was 11 and he had slept 15 hours, and he had these books. He would bring in anywhere from like 2 to 5 books of CDs that he would open up, and it just had this knowledge of music that is. I can't remember anything. I mean, the fact that you can remember all the artists and all the talents. I remember I finally said, okay, what do I need to know? And there's one song that's on my playlist for next weekend that you turn me on to, and every time I run, I like right back in New Zealand. You handing it to me, Driftwood
By Travis.
Travis.
Yeah. That was a big record at the time, guys. The Man Who by Travis.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, right here, sir.
You know what's really funny about you're hearing us talk about getting up at 5 in the morning and then standing to reply our feet. The biggest joke is that when they started The Hobbit, they made advancements in the technology, and now the bloody things are slip-ons. They're slip-ons, and they go all the way up to the knee. They have all of the wig lace punched into it. They are perfectly picture ready, and you just slip them on. So I have to come in an hour and a half before call.
How about the fact that none of these people care about the fact that we were bummed out about that? They just want to find out where they can get them.
I know. Pretty awesome.
Okay, here we go.
Alright, hey guys, my question's for both of you. I know like in the Fellowship of the Ring, you guys did filming with a lot of the main cast, but in the Two Towers and Return of the King, you guys kind of, went off on your own with Andy Serkis, yeah. And so, were you guys able to like visit the set and kind of see what the other cast was filming? And also, how was your experience with Andy Serkis?
So you know what? There was a little bit of that about feeling far away. In Wellington, there were a whole bunch of different studios, or factories, or little, kind of standalone corrugated
Stages.
Stages. But with great sets and everything, they build on it. And a lot of time, I remember going over to the what's the name of in Rohan? What's the name of the castle or the palace?
Edoras.
Yeah.
Edoras?
Yeah.
The one that's on the plateau?
Where
Miranda is?
Yeah, Edoras, yeah. So... Hello, you gotta be impressed that I did the whole Cirith Ungol thing, or no, what did I say? The Osgiliath ruins. I mean, I get some extra credit points for that, right? All right.
I was impressed that you said Osgiliath ruins.
I know. It's the only one I know. So, you go over there and you're like, oh, right. There's this whole other movie. It was easy when they had 800, military, dressed up as Uruk-hai, New Zealand Army dressed as Uruk-hai, and they're doing the Helm's Deep battle, and they're at this rock quarry and the lower hut, which is kind of where police do in Wellington, and Pete would be, reviewing footage from it and making, giving kind of remote direction. Then you felt like you were connected to it. But there were a lot of times for me where I felt like, you'd see actors, you'd bump into each other all of a sudden, you're like, oh, right, there's like, it's not just the Frodo Sam movie, there's like other stuff happening.
It's pretty wild, there were 6 units filming at any given time. It was Unit 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. There was a green screen unit, a miniature unit that never stopped filming, and there was a helicopter unit. All of which, the 4 main units were shooting all the time. And it's crazy, the Helm's Deep sequence was 2 months of night shoots. So for that period of time, Vigo and and Orlando and all them were sequestered to nights for 2 months. And we would run into them on weekends as they were vampires and we were on like the early schedule. But he basically said it right. Some of the time we were filming adjacent to each other. So like Unit 2 would be on one stage and we'd be on another stage shooting our stuff, and we would be able to sort of intersect and see each other. And for the most part, we were all kind of centered around Wellington, but then occasionally they'd been under Edoras and we'd be up in Wellington doing our thing.
We'd have like the, all the little trailers, right, as a little kind of space that you'd have, your dressing room or whatever, were in the same parking lot in this abandoned paint factory setting. And I remember Christopher Lee showed up at one point to do all the battle inside of the tower. And Orthanc. Yeah. Totally Orthanc. I always hear music, like the titles of albums or books, totally Orthanc. That's got to be one, right? But I remember him coming out in his great wizard, clothes and getting to sit and visit with him a little bit, and then it was a little more connected at that point. I definitely felt like, felt a part of it. Andy Serkis is force of nature. Everybody knows Andy, knows that. He's just an absolute. His intensity and his enthusiasm is, unrivaled in the history of planet Earth. So it was awesome, and I don't just mean awesome like a surf, mom would say like awesome, not that kind of awesome. That was awesome, like it was awe-inspiring to watch him and his commitment to the Lycra suit and to sort of being the not just the spirit of him but the physical body of Gollum was kind of absurd at the start because it was totally unnecessary and seemed a little bit like, I don't know, just like a waste of time. I turned out to be wrong. It's a kind of a theme in my life. The fact that he would do that stuff and then he would go to all the animators' desks and he would, work on hand movements and, he'd see what somebody was doing and he'd say, well, what if you could do this? Or what if his eyes did that? And he was, bullying his way into pushing it. Just saying, he wasn't going to be denied. He wanted, and Pete was.
He wanted to drive the physicality of the character. He wanted to control. I mean, the thing is imagine coming in and then feeling like. I think what he struggled with, and I totally understand, is he came in to play a role as an actor that, by and large, most people consider was effectively doing a voice. Was like a glorified version of doing a voice for a character. He didn't see it that way. And he was bound and determined that his physicality would articulate the physicality of the character.
And it ended up pushing the technology.
And that's it.
It pushed the technology. Pete loved what he was doing, but every time when somebody's doing something that's
when they
right,
would call a reference pass, he would get so upset.
We had to tell her it's not a reference.
Don't say reference pass.
What do we end up calling it? We had another name for it. Because we would do one take with Andy in the shot, and then Andy would step out and we do the quote-unquote real take that would be used in the movie, where there wasn't a guy in a green suit that was, you sort of assume that they were going to paint the character in there. So it was not a reference pass, but we came up with a really cool word for it. But anyhow, Pete, when you're doing something right in front of Peter Jackson, you have complete reign to keep doing that thing right and more right and more right until it kind of goes off the rails, and then it just kind of dies as a movement, that idea, and then you go with whatever's working. And he just, whatever Andy was doing was working. It was it was creating inspiration for all the digital people. It was keeping everyone focused, and it was, he wasn't going to be, like you said, it wasn't going to be denied on the set. And so our rehearsals were no joke rehearsals, and it was pretty it was pretty amazing. And I think even, you know, the dots and the cameras and the mocap and all that kind of stuff, what he did was what he and everybody did, but I really think he was the heart of the process, was groundbreaking. It was truly groundbreaking. Everybody here knows that, but I'm just saying, like, to be one of the actors opposite it, I went from feeling like I kind of needed to be patient with that, trusting that it was okay, but you need to be patient with it, to being genuinely feeling the need to rise to the occasion, to be equal to it. So.
Well, guys, as you know, Sean, good answer, right? As you know, Sean is only here today, and we still have to get him back for one more signing, so we're going to have to wrap it up. I apologize. I know you're...
Wait. Hold on. Raise your hand if you're in line right now. Okay, speed round. Just ask your question. Go, fast. Come on.
Really fast.
What was your favorite?
Okay.
Was there a prop you wanted to pull off that you weren't able to?
Okay, next. Gonna ask all of them. Go.
Frodo protagonist, Sam real hero. Discuss.
Next.
The scene where you put the puppet and Bilbo Baggins like merged it together. Did you like play pranks with that puppet with each other?
Next. Just ask them, but don't wait for us. Just keep asking your questions. You're not all gonna get your chance to ask. Go.
What was both of y'all's favorite parts from Lord of the Rings?
Okay, keep going.
What was it like?
I'm just gonna let him go. I have no idea what's happening.
What was it like working with Peter Jackson on set?
Okay, Peter Jackson said, yeah, keep going.
You're both in a video game. What's your special attack, and who's the final boss?
Okay.
Great question, sir. That's awesome.
Keep going, next.
In Lord of the Rings 3: Return of the King, what was the hardest scene you ever went through?
Okay, next.
Okay, out of all the fandoms that is out there, like Harry Potter, blah blah blah, etc., which one would you choose other than Lord of the Rings?
Okay.
Game of Thrones. Winter is coming, y'all.
My best friend Astin here, I'm going to ask you this question. During the last scene of Return of the King, when you two see each other for the last time, he wanted to know which one of you is the better kisser.
Me.
Hey, it was largely Peter Jackson that got me into filmmaking, which is what I'm studying now in school, and I'm imagining that working with him, the feeling had to be 100-fold for you two. So I'm wondering, when's your guys' directorial debut?
He's directed. I've never directed, so it's something I'd love to do.
Okay, keep going.
I just want to know how awesome it was to film people, right? I love that.
So awesome, especially working with Jason
Oh,
Gann, who's
he's so
hilarious. So funny. I love to see that there's so much Wilford representation. I've seen a few Wilfords today. It's awesome.
Hey, volunteers, make sure.
Do they make you check your bong at the door?
Okay, keep going, quick.
What do we miss most about New Zealand?
Okay, keep going.
The people in the landscapes. Delicious lamb. Go, man, go. Oh, they cut the mics.
Hello.
It's a hostile takeover.
Well, let me just say, I don't like it when people have the courage to stand up and they want to ask a question and they stand there and wait for a long time and then don't get to ask their question. So I don't appreciate that the con didn't cut the line before that was not possible. That's how I feel about that.
Words.
The only one that I have time.
I completely concur.
The only one that I don't have a question that I have a moment to answer is the one about Frodo, protagonist Sam Hero.
Finally, this fall, the discussion you've been waiting for between Frodo and Sam.
Isn't Frodo?
Who is the real hero? You'll find out this October.
I can only answer as Sam, and Sam would have one thing to say, and that's Frodo's the real hero. I just decided that I didn't know if there was more than one armadillo. We're in Texas, right?
Yes.
I don't know if there's more than one armadillo. What do you call them? So I made up that they're a loaf of armadillo. It's okay if you tweet that. I'm hoping that'll trend. Okay, thanks everybody.